Sam Jenkins had always kept his head down at Maple Creek Middle School because moving every year with his mom's nursing job had taught him that staying quiet meant fewer problems. On his first day in 6th grade, he walked into homeroom gripping the frayed straps of his backpack, hoping the buzzing classroom would not notice he was both the new kid and the smallest. The hope lasted less than a minute because Brett Collins, the loudest kid in the school, pointed at Sam's hand-me-down sneakers and laughed so hard the class joined in like a flock of noisy geese, a sound that crashed over him like cold water from a hose. Sam's cheeks burned, yet he remembered what his grandpa, a retired boxing coach, had told him every summer in Alabama. Don't swing first, lad, but always stand square and breathe steady, words as steady as the ticking clock in Grandpa's old boxing gym. He breathed steady while Brett strutted closer, flicking Sam's ear and calling him travel-size Sammy, a nickname that stuck to the desks and lockers like gum under a seat, sticky and annoying, making every step feel like unpeeling tape. Most kids in homeroom were too nervous to say anything, but Lily Park, who sat at the window, flashed Sam a quick sorry smile that felt like a life preserver in deep water, a bright ring in a storm of mock laughter. After the bell, Sam followed the hallway arrows toward science class, only to find Brett and his two friends, Max and Jaden, blocking the lockers like a brick wall, their shadows stretching long under the fluorescent lights. Max made drum noises on Sam's backpack while Jaden filmed with his phone, saying the video would look great on their private joke channel that had hundreds of cruel followers, fingers drumming a mocking beat that echoed down the lockers like hollow drums in a parade. Sam wanted to cry, yet he remembered Grandpa's other rule: control what you can, ignore what you can't, like counting clouds rather than punches. He focused on controlling his breathing and not letting the camera see any tears. Even when Brett pushed a textbook from Sam's arms and pages fluttered across the linoleum like frightened birds, pages he had carefully numbered the night before during the long bus ride from Alabama. The next period was gym, where Coach Ramirez announced they would start a unit on self-defense, beginning with balance and footwork drills drawn from classic martial arts. Sam's stomach flipped, because Grandpa had made him practice those same drills in the backyard under the hot southern sun until he could shadow step faster than a grasshopper hops. Coach paired everyone, and fate, or maybe chance, put Sam opposite Brett, who smirked as if the whole thing were another joke that would live online forever. Like contact only, Coach warned, but Brett winked at his friends and whispered that tiny taps wouldn't be any fun. Sam thought about stepping back, yet his feet planted themselves like roots, because Grandpa's voice echoed again. When the bell rings, trust your training. The whistle blew, and Brett lunged clumsily, swinging his arm in a wide arc meant to slap rather than tag. Confident size would beat skill, his grin wide like a barn door in a storm. Sam pivoted, letting the blow glide past his ear, and he tapped Brett's shoulder with 2 fingers, scoring the first point before anyone really understood what had happened. Several classmates gasped, and even Coach raised an eyebrow, while Brett snarled that he had slipped on the polished floor, and it did not count. Round 2 started, and Brett tried to tackle, but Sam sidestepped, guided Brett's own weight forward, and watched the bigger boy stumble, catching himself on the blue mat with a loud grunt. Phones appeared like fireworks in the gym, students recording the impossible sight of the loudest bully getting outmaneuvered by the quiet new kid. Brett's cheeks matched the red exit sign as he charged again, but Coach blew the whistle and declared the match over for safety, awarding Sam the win on points. A hush rolled through the class, followed by a cheer that grew louder than the earlier laughter, and Sam felt the knot in his chest loosen just a little. At lunch, Brett's table scraped their chairs loudly when Sam walked by. Yet no one threw food or insults because the morning videos were already spreading from phone to phone. Kids nodded at Sam like he was suddenly visible, and Lily invited him to sit with her friends, explaining that bravery deserved company. Sam thanked her, still unsure how to smile without looking proud, remembering Grandpa's 3rd rule: stay humble, a real fighter protects, never boast. The afternoon dragged on, but Sam noticed Brett glaring at him during math, whispering to Max, planning something that made Sam's skin prickle like cold rain. After the final bell, Brett cornered Sam near the bike racks, shoving him against the chain-link fence where fallen leaves rattled like warning signs. You made me look stupid, Brett hissed, fists clenched, while Max's phone flashed record and Jaden watched the parking lot for teachers. Sam's backpack slipped off his shoulder, yet he did not raise his hands, remembering Rule 1, never swing first. He spoke calmly, telling Brett that fighting outside gym would get them both suspended, and that cameras cut both ways, an idea Brett clearly had not considered. For a second, Brett hesitated, eyes darting to Max's lens, and Sam saw fear hide behind the anger like a turtle under its shell. Then a whistle shrieked from across the lot, Coach Ramirez jogging over, demanding to know what was going on, his presence like sudden thunder. Max shoved his phone into a pocket, and Brett muttered about waiting for a friend, but Coach's stern gaze broke their act apart like glass under a stone. Coach walked Sam to the sidewalk and told him quietly that skill was power, and power needed wisdom, advice Sam tucked into his heart next to Grandpa's rules. On the bus home, Sam opened his notebook, writing a promise to himself to join the after-school martial arts club, not to show off, but to get even better at staying calm. Clouds drifted over the autumn sun, painting the windows gold, and Sam felt something new, a spark of confidence, glow brighter than fear. At home, Mom noticed the changed posture and asked about his day, and Sam told her the truth, leaving out nothing, because secrets grow heavier when hidden. Mom called Grandpa that evening, putting the phone on speaker, and the old coach's warm laugh filled the kitchen when he heard Sam had used the footwork drill perfectly. Grandpa reminded Sam that the hardest fights are often quiet battles inside your own mind, and winning those makes the outside world less scary. Sam went to bed early, knowing tomorrow Brett might plot again, but courage, once awakened, does not fall asleep easily, and Sam decided he would face whatever came with steady breaths. The next morning, Sam woke before his alarm, replaying the gym clash in his mind while stretching through Grandpa's warm UPS so his excited nerves would not tie into knots. Walking to school, he watched yellow maple leaves drift like shields and wondered if they remind fighters to guard first and strike only when needed. Entering the hallway, a hush rolled ahead. Phones had shown his footwork to every sixth grader, and whispers followed like wind rustling grass before a storm. Lily hurried over and said the after-school martial arts club met today. Coach wanted Sam there because newcomers feel braver when someone their size succeeds. Sam blushed but nodded, picturing sturdy mats and focus pads that pop instead of locker slams and cruel jokes. In history, Mr. Patel announced partner projects on famous peacemakers, as if the universe nudged Sam toward the idea that strength without kindness is empty. Brett too rose back glared, and when partners were assigned he scowled because Sam got Lily while he got Max. Lily chose Nelson Mandela, noting forgiving an enemy can change hearts faster than punches, though her eyes flicked at Brett. Sam agreed, bolding Mandela's name and vowing to read more, because Grandpa says knowledge turns closed fists into open hands. On the blacktop at recess, students raced clips of Sam against ninja movies, and Brett's pride sagged like a leaking balloon each time the slow-mo looped. Max insisted Brett slipped, but no one believed it after seeing Sam glide sideways like a door closing before rain, and even the younger kids peeking through the fence laughed at the claim. Jaden refreshed his phone, frowning as laughing emojis flooded their bully channel, then hid the post. Science featured a lab on chemical reactions, and foggy goggles made Brett mutter nothing fit his head, hinting he felt smaller inside than he acted. At the vinegar station, Brett nudged Sam's elbow to spill, yet Sam steadied the beaker and calmly asked Mr. Gale for another spot, turning chaos into calm. Mr. Gale warned horseplay earns detention, so Brett backed off, and Sam saw teachers can be shields if you let them. Lunch came, and Lily showed a flyer for a city martial arts tournament in 6 weeks with weight classes, which made Sam grin wide. He pictured Grandpa's thumbs up, Mom cheering, and Coach calling drills like chess moves. That dream lifted him until Brett slammed a tray and declared real fighters use fists, not dance steps from old men. Sam wanted to argue, yet Rule 3, stay humble, echoed, so he ate calmly, letting confidence speak louder than anger, the best reply a young warrior can offer. Grandpa had said anger is like holding a burning coal. You blister yourself before you throw it, and Sam repeated the line to cool sparks. After lunch, Sam saw Max and Brett whispering behind the music room, and Lily's worried glance told him trouble brewed. English brought news of Friday's field trip to Pine Ridge Ropes Course, and Sam sensed Brett would twist adventure into ambush. Alphabet seating meant Sam would ride beside Brett on the bus, a thought that flipped his stomach like a pancake. The final bell rang and Sam walked to gym. Coach greeted him and introduced club members who had watched his viral clip. They circled the mat, and Coach asked Sam to demo his pivot, explaining redirecting force works like a river around a stone. Sam's sneakers squeaked as he moved slowly, every eye watching like he was unfolding magic, warming his chest. Sparring pairs formed. Sam faced a 7th grader named Carlos who thanked him, saying small kids need clever moves more than muscles. Coach handed Sam a permission slip and whispered Maple Creek had not sent a 6th grader in 5 years. Sam folded the form like a treasure map, each parent's signature a step toward hidden gold. By the exit, he saw Brett staring at a dusty sportsmanship plaque and wondered if Brett feared being forgotten more than being feared. Outside, Sunset painted orange and purple stripes, and the late bus rumbled as Sam and Lily talked about Mandela and courage. Lily admitted she hid her violin talent because Brett once teased orchestra kids. Sam said fear shrinks gifts the way frost shrinks leaves. The bus stopped at Maple Street. Sam jogged home, noticing his shadow seemed taller, though height had not changed. Mom served warm cornbread and listened. Sam spoke of the club, the slip, and the bus seating worry. Mom said you cannot choose who sits beside you, but you can choose how you sit, advice that clicked like a seatbelt. After dishes, Sam phoned Grandpa, who laughed and said bullies bank on reactions. If you deposit no fear, their account stays empty. Grandpa also promised to mail Sam his old leather jump rope, explaining that light feet come from hours of fluttering rope, not from wishes, and Sam vowed to train every dawn on the dew-wet sidewalk behind the apartments. Homework done, Sam sketched a tiny trophy and wrote under it, "What will bravery cost, and is it worth it?" He finished with 10 slow push UPS, whispering a soft yes, believing courage and regret rarely share one seat. Sleep came with a dream of the bus to Pine Ridge, Brett's glare beside him, and Sam meeting it with steady breaths ready for tomorrow's test. Sam woke before dawn on the day of the Pine Ridge field trip, jumping rope behind the apartments while the sky blushed pink, each slap of leather on concrete echoing promises of bravery yet to be tested. He showered, packed 2 turkey sandwiches, tucked Grandpa's jump rope into his backpack, and slipped the martial arts permission slip beside it, thinking courage often wears plain paper clothes. At school, the buses idled like big metal beasts breathing diesel fog, and 6th graders buzzed in lines, their chatter rising higher than the gulls swooping over the parking lot, every voice mixing excitement with nerves like colors swirling in a jar of water. Sam's chest tightened when he saw Brett stomping toward the alphabet seating list taped to bus 2, but he remembered Mom's seatbelt lesson and inhaled steadily through his nose. Brett slumped beside Sam, muttering that sitting with a travel-sized champ would spoil his trip, but Sam just nodded calmly like a lifeguard watching gentle waves. Coach Ramirez, riding a chaperone, walked the aisle, reminding everyone to keep hands and words kind, and Brett slouched lower, as if kindness were a heavy coat he refused to wear. Lily sat across the aisle with her violin case, whisper smiling encouragement at Sam, while Max and Jaden filmed low-angle shots of Brett's frown, planning another cruel montage. The bus rolled onto the highway with the driver's radio playing, yet tension sat between Sam and Brett like a shadow, squeezing hopes for a calm ride. Trying to break the ice, Sam asked if Brett had ever climbed ropes before, and Brett scoffed that he didn't need circus tricks to prove strength, though his fingers tapped nervous rhythms on the seat and his eyes darted to the looming forest ahead. 30 miles later, towering pines framed the adventure park, and wooden towers poked above the forest like castle turrets guarding secrets, making even confident kids whisper in. Guides in bright vests fitted each child with harness and helmet, tugging straps snug like seatbelts, and reminding everyone that adventure favors preparation. Sam tightened his own harness with practiced calm, then helped Lily adjust hers, remembering Grandpa's rule that real fighters help others tie knots of safety, not fear. Brett yanked his straps so tight the guide warned blood must still flow, and Max's laugh died when the instructor's stern glance glued his mouth shut. Groups rotated through obstacles. Sam's team started on the wobbly log bridge that bounced like a trampoline, and Lily squealed, but Sam coached her to bend knees, finding rhythm in the sway. Brett's team began the vertical net climb. Brett raced upward to show off, but halfway his shoelace snagged, and he cursed loud enough to rattle nesting birds. Sam heard the shout and glanced across gaps between trees, seeing Brett's boot dangling and panic widening his eyes, though bravado kept him silent to guides below. Sam judged the distance, 2 connected platforms and 1 swinging plank, calculating balance points the way he solved geometry problems, and knew he could reach Brett faster than the climbing staff hiking from ground level around the tree trunks. The instructor on Sam's platform radioed for a safety stop, but wind carried the call away, and kids froze mid-step, wondering if playtime had turned serious, and if they would forever remember the moment joy paused in the treetops. He asked his guide for permission to assist, citing prior training, and the guide clipped an extra safety line to Sam's belt, voice calm yet urgent. Moving with deliberate speed, Sam crossed the plank, feet light as hummingbird wings against creaking boards, every drill with Grandpa echoing in muscle memory. Brett tried to free the lace, but the knot tightened, and he muttered that his foot was going numb, fear leaking through cracks in his tough guy mask. Brett obeyed, shoulders shaking, while Sam retied the lace with the square knot Grandpa had taught, proving careful hands beat careless bravado. Guides reached the net and praised Sam's quick action, radioing Coach that the situation was clear, and applause drifted through the trees like falling leaves. On the platform, Brett quietly whispered thanks, and Sam said getting unstuck together matters more than boasting. They clipped to the zip line and soared back to ground, wind roaring past helmets, and Brett's laugh real, not mocking, mixed with Sam's whoop in a new chord of friendship. During lunch at picnic tables, Brett sat beside Sam instead of at the bully table, unwrapping a squash peanut butter sandwich and offering half in trade for one of Sam's turkey halves, a trade that tasted better than any victory dance. Max and Jaden stare like they had seen a magic trick, their phones idle, because genuine kindness makes poor viral content. Brett asked Sam how he stayed calm up there, and Sam shared Grandpa's breathing trick, guiding Brett through slow inhales that puffed cheeks like chipmunks, followed by long exhales that released worry like dandelion seeds on a breeze. Coach Ramirez joined them, clapped Sam's shoulder, and said leadership is louder than loudmouths, a compliment that made Sam nearly drop his apple and made Brett study the ground in thoughtful silence. The afternoon relay had pairs lug a log through a maze. Brett volunteered to team with Sam, surprising everyone, maybe even the orange cones. They hoisted the log, counting steps together, 1, 2, 3, as if marching to a drum only they could hear, and finished first, high-fiving so hard their gloves slapped echoes off tree trunks like drum beats of new respect. While other teams ran, Sam noticed Lily practicing violin fingerings on her lunch fork, and he encouraged her to sign up for the talent show next month. Brett chimed in that he would cheer the loudest, startling Lily into a giggle, proof that bullies can switch jerseys when given a playbook of empathy and space to rewrite old plays. As the sun dipped behind hills, guides gathered the group for closing, awarding a small bravery badge to Sam, and Brett led the applause, voice booming with pride instead of ridicule. On the bus ride home, Brett chose the window seat, letting Sam sit aisle so he could stretch his still-tingling leg, an unspoken thank you bigger than words. Max tried to crack a joke about Brett owing him views, but Brett shrugged, saying some likes cost too much, leaving Max puzzled and videoless, a silent lesson sliding between them like an unseen bookmark. Highway lights flickered like slow fireflies guiding tired travelers, and Sam dozed, dreaming of future tournaments where cheers ring louder than jeers, and every kid believes small can be mighty when heart and practice align. Brett stayed awake, staring at passing stars smeared across the sky, recalling how the smallest kid had pulled him free from panic, and a heavy thought settled that fear can chain even giants until a friend unlocks the clasp. When the buses unloaded at school, Brett handed Sam a folded note that simply read, "Teach me those moves?" The first time he had asked instead of demanded, and the ink looked shaky like it had traveled a long road from heart to hand. Sam smiled, nodded, and tucked the note beside the tournament flyer, heart swelling like a sail catching steady wind toward brighter days, already imagining practice pads echoing like soft thunder in the school gym. Sam and Brett met early Monday in the empty gym, the pale lights blinking awake as if surprised two sixth graders would choose sweat over sleep, and Sam laid out focus pads while explaining that every drill begins with balanced feet, because shaky foundations topple even tall towers in strong winds. Brett tried the first jab-cross combo, swinging wide like a baseball bat, and Sam gently corrected his stance, saying the trick is to imagine squashing a bug under the ball of each foot, a picture that snapped Brett's punches into straighter lines. Coach Ramirez arrived with fresh tape for their knuckles, nodding at the unlikely duo, and he reminded them practice is a quiet promise you make to future victories, the way planting seeds promises shade you may not sit under yet. Word of their dawn session spread, and soon Max and Jaden peeked through the doors, curiosity tugging them closer than pride allowed, until Coach waved them in, handing each boy a jump rope and declaring no phones until sweat proved they deserved screen time. Jaden whined that filming punches would get likes, but Brett surprised everyone by saying likes feel thin next to the thick feeling of landing a clean hit, a confession that made Max frown as if tasting lemonade without sugar. After drills, Sam led stretches, telling stories Grandpa used, like how an oak bends in storms or it cracks, to show that flexibility protects strength, and the simple nature tales sank deeper than fancy science words ever had in class. Lily joined the next morning with her violin, playing quick scales between jump rope rounds to keep timing tight, and the music filled the echoing gym like sunlight spilling through dusty windows, turning hard work into a small concert of effort. Coach suggested entering the city tournament as a mixed school team event, needing 4 fighters, so Brett asked Max and Jaden if they were in, and both nodded, driven by fresh purpose rather than fear of missing out. Permission slips flew home in backpacks, and parents phoned each other, buzzing with surprise that the Bully Channel kids now rose before dawn chasing discipline instead of trouble, a rumor that warmed teachers' lounge coffee breaks. Training weeks rolled like pages in a fast-flipped book. Sunrise pads, lunchtime shadowboxing under bleachers, and evening homework circles where Lily's violin homework became background music for math problems and combo footwork sketches. Brett's grades ticked upward because disciplined practice with punches spread secretly to verbs and fractions, proving Grandma's rule that good habits travel like friendly hitchhikers to every town of your life. Max deleted old bully videos, writing an apology caption that read, "We learn, we grow." And though comments were mixed, Sam clicked a heart emoji, believing planting good seeds matters even in rocky soil. Jaden filmed new clips of the group passing coach's speedbag test, editing them with captions about teamwork, and views still rose. Yet this time laughter echoed with respect instead of cruelty, a sweeter sound that echoed down digital hallways. One windy Friday, Principal Ahmed announced a school assembly about online kindness, inviting Sam's squad to speak, and Sam's knees knocked but Brett whispered, "We'll stand square and breathe steady," turning Grandpa's boxing motto into public speaking armor. On stage, Sam told classmates fortune favors preparation and courage. Brett admitted fear had chained his heart until friendship picked the lock. Max described deleting hurtful history, and Jaden showed before and after clips, the projector flickering like campfire tales. The auditorium clapped, not just polite taps but thunder that rattled seat bolts, and teachers exchanged wide-eyed glances at proof that middle school stories can flip chapters faster than grown-up cynicism expects. In hallways later, shy kids asked Sam for breathing tips, shy musicians asked Lily about performing despite jitters, and shy bullies, yes, they exist, asked Brett if second chances itch or feel sweet, and he answered both like healing skin. Tournament week arrived frosted with early snowflakes swirling around street lamps, yet the foursome jogged laps in hoodies, steam puffing from mouths, counting strides instead of seconds, knitting stamina into muscle memory. Mom washed Sam's GI twice so it shone like fresh paper, and Grandpa mailed a lucky mouthguard etched with tiny boxing gloves. Sam tucked it beside a note that said, "Skill is respect wrapped in motion." Saturday morning, the city recreation center hummed with chatter. Mats laid out like giant puzzle pieces, and banners flapped with names of clubs rumored to crush dreams. Yet Sam's heart beat steady like a metronome set by countless jump rope dawns. Lily played a snappy tune on her phone speaker during Warning PS, the notes fluttering above squeaking shoes, and Brett shadowboxed to the rhythm, jaw relaxed, eyes focused, no sign of the old scowl that once ruled his face. First matches flew by. Sam won on points against a taller kid, dodging like a sparrow around branches. Brett stopped a powerhouse with clever counters. Max forced a draw that felt like victory, and Jaden surprised even himself with a spinning back fist that drew cheers. Between rounds, Coach whispered that finals would pit them against Crestview Academy, famous for slick uniforms and louder parents, and told the boys to sharpen minds, not fists, because smart beats shiny 9 times out of 10. Crestview's captain, a sleek 8th grader, mocked Sam's patched-up GI, calling him thrift store champ, and the nickname floated in the air heavy as a dare, but Sam bowed politely, stealing the weight from the words like a magician palming coins. The bell rang. Sam's feet tapped quiet rhythms known only to the dusty jump rope back home, and he weaved under 3 jabs, scoring with light taps that judges counted while the crowd gasped louder each exchange. On the edge of the mat, Brett and crew chanted numbers for every landed point, their voices braiding courage into a rope Sam could climb when fatigue tried to yank him down. Final buzzer echoed, referees raised fists, Sam's high, Crestview's low, and Maple Creek supporters exploded, because the smallest competitor had toppled the tournament favorite with footwork, patience, and breath steady as sunrise tides. Brett's match followed. His opponent sneered about viral clips, yet Brett answered with clean combos drilled in dawn silence, winning by technical knockout when the ref halted the bout for safety, proving muscles and manners can coexist. Max edged a narrow split decision, fist shaky but heart firm, and Jaden, though losing on points, fought bravely enough to earn sportsmanship cheers, adding shine to the team's combined total that nudged Maple Creek into first place overall. Trophies gleamed on a folding table. Coach accepted the tall team cup, yet insisted Sam lift it with Brett, Max, and Jaden, because victory tastes richer when shared, like pizza slices after long practice. Reporters snapped photos. One asked Brett what changed his attitude, and he answered, "Real strength lifts others," a quote that made headlines in the Monday paper and caused old classmates to double-take at breakfast. On the ride home, Sam held the trophy close, feeling its weight less than the lessons learned. He thanked Brett for trusting him on that rope course, and Brett thanked Sam for grabbing his shoelace and his heart on the same day. Sam's mentorship club, Maple Creek Guardians, held its first meeting Monday, and 40 kids shuffled into the library, voices buzzing like leaves stirring before a gentle wind. Lily set her violin as a welcome sign, Brett stacked focus pads, and Max opened slides titled Turn Mockery into Motivation, each slide showing cartoon sparrows with small boxing gloves. Jaden aimed a borrowed camcorder so the session could stream on their kindness channel, saying good clicks must outnumber cruel ones to keep the web hopeful. Sam told Grandpa's tale of a tiny seed cracking a sidewalk, then asked listeners to share moments when one kind word split a hard day wide enough for sunlight to slip in. Hands lifted slowly at first, then stories rolled like marbles across a desk, and the awkward hush left, replaced by soft laughter and relieved nods. Brett confessed he once mocked hand-knit sweaters before learning a sick grandma made them, and losing that guilt felt like peeling off an itchy coat. Lily played a brief tune, her bow dipping like a bird, and shoulders relaxed as notes floated among rows of adventure books. Sam taught a breathing drill, telling everyone to inflate bellies like balloons and let anger float away like a lost birthday balloon climbing into blue sky. Max showed screenshots of his deleted bully posts. The gas that followed was a mirror crack, many seeing themselves laughing in those frozen frames. He kept one screenshot on his phone to remind him deletion can't erase memory, so he now paints better scenes over old graffiti in his mind. Principal Ahmed dropped by wearing his dinosaur tie, praised the courage, and promised community service credit for 6 meetings, a badge that could impress future resumes. The new perk lit sparks. Sam saw math was Hannah planning how to fit Guardians between robotics and piano, proof busy kids still find time to mend halls. Coach Ramirez arrived with protein bars, then led a footwork game on checkerboard tiles, calling white squares lava. Laughter bounced off encyclopedias as even the principal hopped along. After drills, Sam handed blank cards printed with the word empathy. He asked everyone to write one weekly challenge and keep it for a future check-in. Cards slid into pockets like secret seeds, and the room hummed with quiet promises, the same buzz Sam feels before a match when possibilities stretch wide. Guardians grew from 40 to 60, then 80. Extra chairs and beanbags shaped like planets appeared so latecomers could orbit the main circle. The spirit leaked into lunch where new mixed tables formed. Food fights shrank because no one mocks a friend who might soon coach their breathing. Teachers saw fewer shoves and more homework passes. Crediting peer pressure flipped upside down, where lifting grades became the new daring trend. One rainy afternoon, 7th grader Chloe burst in crying about online hate. Brett led the comfort circle, steering calm words like a traffic cop in fog. Jaden shared a short, approved clip titled We Guard Each Other, and it hit 5,000 views. Tiny for the internet title for a small school. Sam's Dawn workouts now streamed live. Kids in bedrooms copied his footwork, and messages poured in thanking him for routines that made bullies shrink like noon shadows. Lily added music mashups as channel intros, her playlist named Bow to the Beat, and it became as familiar as the school bell. Max designed a logo of 2 gloves forming a heart, stickers spread on lockers and skate ramps, little badges of shared resolve. The PDA invited the Guardians to speak and offered a small grant. Adults sometimes need teens to prove change is worth the budget. Lily coached Sam on speech rhythm, matching commas to violin rests so butterflies in his stomach could flap in time instead of chaos. At the meeting, Sam used the garden metaphor. Students are seeds, kindness is water, halls are soil, and weeds bloom when no one tends. The grant passed fast, funding gear and a wellness fair led by students, showing hearts can open wallets in the same motion. So the Guardians plan Regret No More Week, daily kindness missions like Post-it Wednesday, when lockers bloomed with pastel compliments fluttering in hallway drafts, and surprise High Five Friday that left palms tingling with joy. By Thursday, fist bump glove hearts replaced mocking high fives, rewiring muscle memory toward respect faster than detention ever had. Friday night showcase filled the gym under paper lanterns. Families came to hear the story that quietly rewrote the school script. Lily's violin opened. Jaden's montage showed Brett's scowl fading to a grin, and gasps rippled through rows of folding chairs. Max unveiled a mural of the seed cracking concrete, inviting fingerprints and paint to become leaves, turning spectators into artists. Sam sparred lightly with Brett. Each respectful tap looked like slowed lightning, and bows rumbled like distant thunder, promising soft rain. He announced the Guardians would mentor incoming 5th graders, and cheers rose higher than the banner above the scoreboards. Brett read a short poem, admitting words can hit harder than punches yet heal softer, and applause washed away his last regret. Walking home under streetlights, Sam felt the Guardians were now shield, lantern, and bridge, and he promised to keep all 3 duties at every sunrise. Grandpa called that night, Proud the fight had grown larger than any ring, reminding Sam real champions build others, not trophies. Sam hung up smiling, set his alarm for dawn rope jumps, and drifted to sleep dreaming of next year's halls already blooming with painted leaves. Deep in his pocket, the empathy card rested, blank side waiting for tomorrow's challenge, proof the journey keeps moving even after lights go out, glowing with silent purpose. Sam breathed steady, knowing the wrong kid they picked had become the right guy for many, and the regret now belonged to yesterday, fading like chalk rainbows after a soft shower. Sam's alarm buzzed at 5 on the first day of summer break, but instead of rolling over, he grabbed his jump rope because guarding hope never takes holidays or listens to snooze buttons. On the cracked sidewalk, he skipped until the rope hissed a steady rhythm, counting 100 jumps for each letter in Guardians and planting the mission deeper than any trophy could reach. After oatmeal, he met Brett, Lily, Max, and Jaden at the gate where a banner read District Kindness Camp, proof their idea had grown beyond Maple Creek's walls. Principal Ahmed arrived grinning and handed them a ring of keys, trusting kids to turn dusty rooms into training trails for students from 5 other schools. In the gym, Sam taped long green arrows into leaf-shaped footwork paths while Lily tuned her violin, letting soft notes float through the rafters so breathing drills could glide on gentle music. Brett stacked foam focus pads, joking that the higher they rose, the farther fear would fall, and Max painted bright red heart glove logos on jerseys so every camper felt united in color and cause. Jaden checked the live stream camera, telling the custodian that screens can plant courage when aimed at kindness, and the custodian wiped dust from a backboard. At 9 o'clock, 3 yellow buses spilled 100 nervous kids under the warm sun. Sam clapped and called, "Welcome, future Guardians. Your safe steps starts here," and jitters melted like butter. The first lesson paired strangers in the lava checkerboard game Brett once hated. Wild laughter burst when tall 8th graders yelped after landing on forbidden hot squares, shrinking gaps with each hop. Lunch on the breezy soccer field included Sam's crumbly cornbread and the shoelace rescue tail, reminding everyone that heroes often tie knots instead of wearing capes, and even mustard stains looked like medals. Mid-afternoon, Coach Ramirez introduced Grandpa Jenkins, sturdy as an oak, wearing a dusty Guardian's cap and twirling his weathered rope like a parade baton that snapped the summer air. Grandpa told the campers that true champions choose peace first and fists last. His slow Alabama drawl painting pictures, so vivid a listener said she could smell pine boards of an old boxing ring. After sweaty drills, the kids wrote their biggest worries on colorful scraps of paper, folded them into airplanes with wobbly wings, and on Sam's loud count launched them toward the ceiling. The fluttering pages circled like lazy butterflies before landing in a bright ring that Coach swept away with a single proud arc of his broom. Evening shadows stretched when parents arrived, finding sweaty children glowing like lanterns. Many whispered they had not seen such smiles in years. A news van waited. The reporter came chasing ratings but left praising ripples, describing how a bullied boy built bridges from the bricks thrown at him. Sam felt stiff on camera but said big change begins when one person stays kind 10 seconds longer than usual, a quote that aired during prime time. Comments poured in asking how to start Guardian chapters, and Jaden sent toolkits late into the night. Summer days rolled forward like smooth jump rope arcs, adding puzzle corners for thinkers, giant mural walls for painters, and a quiet beanbag nook where anxious kids turned inner storms into calm lakes. Max's bold heart glove logo soon appeared on reusable bottles, phone cases, skateboard decks, and notebook covers, while Brett's rebooted video channel streamed daily kindness challenges, converting ordinary likes into sparks of action. The PDA invited the Guardians to speak at the next meeting and later approved a small grant for supplies, showing adults sometimes need teens to prove real change is worth both time and tight budgets. Lily coached Sam's big speech, matching every pause to violin rests so the fluttering butterflies in his stomach flew in perfect rhythm, turning rehearsal into a soothing duet. State officials visited in sticky August, watched the energetic footwork games, tasted sweet cornbread bites, and soon funded Guardian clubs across the wider region, confirming big victories can happen without scoreboards or shiny medals. Brett, once scared of ropes, now taught knot tying class, showing loops hold tints like promises hold friends. His bowling demo left jaws hanging. Lily composed an upbeat camp anthem mixing violin and drums that played on local radio, nudging traffic honks into brief harmony. One golden evening, Sam's mom, weary for hospital work, visited camp and quietly teared up while watching her once quiet boy lead slow sunset stretches like a steady lighthouse guiding tired boats. Early fall newspapers ran a colorful photo collage of the rope course rescue, the shining trophy lift, and the massive camp circle, boldly headlined Hope, Indiana motion across the front page above the fold. Grandpa mailed Sam a scratched silver whistle with a note. Use this to gather hearts, not split them. Words that gleamed brighter than trophies. On the last camp day, campers, some once teased, some once bullies, formed a giant circle and clasped wrists like a human chain that kept laughter in and fences of fear out. A buzzing drone captured the sunflower-shaped crowd from the sky, and the bright image later became the camp's fresh logo on stickers, magnets, wristbands, and the principal's newsletter. Sam stood at the grassy center and blew the whistle. The circle stepped outward together until it filled nearly the whole soccer field, proving hearts expand wide when given enough space. He counted slowly to 10, and together everyone breathed the longest, calmest breath the gym had ever heard, holding it for the full stretch of 40 quiet minutes that perfectly mirrored Sam's climb from overlooked newcomer to steady guide standing tall. As dusk crept in, campers chalked messages. You helped me stand strong in Bully-free zone forever, while Sam traced each letter with his shoe. Brett handed Sam a note. Thanks for teaching me to unpick knots inside as well as on shoes. Words heavier than mountains. Walking home, Sam realized the wrong kid tale had become an everyone wins saga, and he pledged to guard that truth like a lantern. He set his alarm for dawn because courage trained today becomes courage ready for tomorrow. Before sleep, he wrote about a single spark lighting a tall forest of kindness and sketched wide arrows showing how one jump rope can ripple through thousands of eager footsteps. Moonlight touched the trophy, but Sam's eyes rested on simpler items: the whistle, the empathy card, and the worn rope. Grandpa's final lesson echoed. Real champions build welcoming circles, not cold walls, and Sam declared next camp would invite younger kids so kindness roots could grow early and strong. He dreamed of classrooms where every desk held a sunflower badge reading, "You are guarded here." Even asleep, Sam breathed steady, knowing yesterday's bullies now shared tomorrow's promise, and he would wake ready to tighten any loose knot he found. Autumn arrived, and Sam stepped into the school hallway, greeted by past and present guardians offering waves and sunflower badges shining on every locker, a bright reminder that kindness connects every student. His heart swelled when Lily played a soft violin tune in the music room, the gentle melody weaving between lockers like friendly whispers that chased away any lingering fear. In homeroom, Brett passed out bright lanyards printed with a Guardian logo, his earlier scowl replaced by a proud grin as classmates admired the symbol of unity on each strap. Max displayed screenshots of their deleted bully posts on a shared slideshow, urging everyone to see how apologies can rewrite history and encourage new stories of respect. Jaden adjusted the livestream camera and announced that today's assembly would be broadcast to all district schools, so sister campuses could learn how Maple Creek turned regret into growth. Principal Ahmed introduced Sam and his team on stage, praising their journey from bullied and bullies to mentors and leaders, a transformation that made every teacher nod with pride. Sam spoke clearly into the microphone, explaining that real strength shows not when you hit back but when you reach out, offering breathing drills and support to anyone in need. Brett added that apologies can feel heavy but open space for trust, and that pulling someone's shoelace can teach more than creating drama ever did. The auditorium erupted in applause so loud it rattled windows, and Sam realized this moment would echo in the hallways long after the final bell. After the assembly, younger students crowded around to ask about guard badge designs and how they too could start a Guardians chapter in their school. Sam handed out blank badge stickers and markers, telling each child to draw their own symbol of kindness, so creativity could bloom alongside compassion. Lily organized a mini concert in the library, her violin notes dancing above reading nooks and encouraging shy readers to lift their heads and join in. Brett led small group drills in the gym, teaching balanced stances and focused pad taps that felt more like playful games than lessons in defense. Max hosted a workshop on social media kindness, showing how to turn ordinary posts into messages of support that make online spaces safer for everyone. Jaden streamed the entire afternoon live, capturing candid smiles, nervous high fives, and proud parents as they watched their children lead change with gentle confidence. By week's end, 5 more schools had joined the district's kindness network, each sending representatives to Maple Creek for training and inspiration. Sam marveled at how a single act of calm breathing had spread like ripples across a pond, growing into waves of caring across town. At the next basketball game, the Guardians sat together on the bleachers, cheering every team equally and passing out encouraging notes to nervous players. Coaches and players noticed the shift. Whispers of support replaced earlier taunts, and the court felt warmer under caring cheers. One evening, Sam's mom found him in the gym after hours, practicing rope jumps while listening to Grandpa's voice in his head saying, Strength is kindness in motion. She hugged him and told him she had never seen him glow with such purpose, and Sam smiled, knowing the real trophies lived in hearts, not shelves. Neighboring parents organized a block party to celebrate the Guardian's impact, hanging lanterns painted with sunflower symbols and sharing cornbread that tasted of togetherness. Grandpa visited again and led a sunset rope jump demonstration in the park, his weathered hands moving like magic as children gathered around. He reminded everyone that every jump, tap, and breath counts, because small actions build strong communities when performed with steady intention. The local newspaper ran a feature titled From Targets to Teachers, profiling Sam and his friends, and dozens of letters poured into the school office praising their courage. Even Brett's former bully friends wrote in, admitting they regretted earlier videos and asking how to join the Guardians and make amends. Sam replied with a simple message: show up, listen, and share kindness, proving that welcoming words can heal wounds deeper than any punch could cause. During a field trip the following spring, the class paused at a bridge over a rushing creek, and Sam asked them to pause too, to breathe steady and feel how peaceful the moment could be. Lily played a soft violin riff on the bridge, her melody blending with water sounds, reminding everyone that harmony begins when fear is quieted. Brett tied everyone's shoelaces into careful knots, declaring that secure steps lead to confident strides both on stage and off. Max led a quick social media challenge inviting peers to post one compliment each day, hashtagging #GuardiansGrowGood, and the posts appeared across district feeds. Jaden posted a time-lapse of the crew painting a giant sunflower mural on the school wall, the bright petals spreading across brick like hope made visible. Teachers reported fewer behavior referrals and more students raising hands, eager to share ideas and help classmates feel included. Parent-teacher conferences included proud remarks about communication skills, empathy growth, and the Guardian leaders who inspired those changes. On the final day of school, Sam stood before a crowd gathered on the field and released a dozen sunflowers into the sky, each tied with a ribbon carrying a promise of kindness. As the blossoms drifted upward, the school band played a gentle tune, and laughter mixed with music in a perfect spring symphony. Grandparents, parents, students, and teachers joined hands in a giant circle, forming a living Guardian ring that pulsed with warmth under the blue sky. Sam realized that regret had been the seed, kindness the water, and courage the sun that grew a forest of caring stronger than any fear. He whispered a quiet thank you to Grandpa, to Lily, Brett, Max, and Jaden, and to every student who chose to stand steady when others chose to stumble. With steady breaths and open hearts, the Guardians walked into the summer sunrise together, ready to guard hope wherever they went next.